Let me give you guys a little intro to this call. This call was actually a setup to try to catch me in some inaccuracies on what's actually wrong with Chabad. How do I know it's a setup? Because these guys call me all the time. But this time, I chose to record it. So, enjoy.
A dear friend of mine that truly cares about me, he gave me your number and said I should call you for advice. So here's my situation.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I've been in connection with the Chabad, and my friend didn't really like this, so he told me to start going to the Aish.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really like it so much there, and the Moshiach centers are really a lot better for me. So I'm in this big predicament. I have no clue what to do. So he said I'd call you for advice to guide me.
So go to the Moshiach Center.
What, sorry?
So go to the Moshiach Center.
Even if I like it, my friend said they don't teach good stuff there.
You're going where, to daven? Or are you looking for yeshiva to learn in?
No, for classes, during the week and to daven.
If you find one center boring, how's that going to help you?
It's not that it's boring. It's not my style. You see what I'm saying?
All right, so go to the Chabad. Ultimately, look, what matters is that you're keeping Torah mitzvahs. That's all that matters. I don't care who you believe Moshiach is. I don't care if you believe a Rebbe is an Atmut and a Goof.
That's what they teach there.
Right, okay. But if you find that more interesting, then study there. The goal is that you're keeping Torah mitzvahs. All the other stuff is nonsensical. Clearly, if you were my son, I wouldn't put you in a Lubavitcher yeshiva, okay? But to say that it's better not to go anywhere than to go to a Chabad, no, of course not. I mean, Chabad, they keep Torah. I don't think they're idolaters, and I don't think that they're heretics. And I just think that they're wrong. Okay, fine. I learned an Aish. I'm more of an Aish guy. But that appeals more to me, and I think it's in line with authentic Judaism more than Chabad is. Fine, but that's my opinion. Regardless,
do you mind just explaining to me a little how Chabad don't really connect and how they're wrong a little bit? Thank you.
So, being wrong in Judaism has many different levels to it, okay? You could be wrong with Torah Shebiktav, you could be going against Chazal, or you could be against Achronim. There's many things we consider wrong nowadays that Chazal didn't consider wrong. Okay, that's a fact of Judaism. Things that bother us today didn't bother Chazal back then. So, since the rise of the Rambam, Judaism has taken a different twist, especially with Mor Nevuchim. At Mor Nevuchim, the Guide for the Perplexed, laid down a certain philosophy of what God is, of what God isn't, of what He can or cannot do. Right? So I consider myself a student of the Rambam, and he's pretty much the most influential rabbi in Jewish history, in my opinion. Okay, but all that is really just his opinion. And now Chabad teaches the Rambam a lot. However, what they don't teach is philosophical ideas from the Rambam. They use the Rambam because he codified the laws of Moshiach, and apart from that, you're rarely going to hear Chabad teach the Guide for the Perplexed, Mor Nevuchim, because there's concepts, Kabbalistic concepts that go against the Rambam, like the notion of Tzimtzum. I don't think any rabbi would disagree that that's problematic according to the Rambam. The notion of the Sefirot, of God having emanations. There's a statement in the Tanya, in the second parak of the Tanya, the second chapter, that says, Helek Elokam Mimal Mamish, that a Jew is an actual part of God. Now, the Rambam would have a problem with that, right? Now, I'm not saying that Judaism has a problem with that. I'm just saying the Rambam has a problem with that. Because,
in what sense?
because God can't be contained or separated in any way. To say that a Jew is physically part of God, he says mamish, that it's an actual part of God, would go against the rules of limiting God according to the Rambam. This is why the Rambam had a problem with the Trinity, because it's splitting God up into pieces, right? The Rambam would have definitely philosophically a problem with that, and this is what appears in Mor Nevuchim. I'm not saying that Chabad goes against Chazal necessarily. I mean, Chazal talk about Moshiach coming back from the dead. Fine, Rashi also concurs with what Chazal teaches. Now, the Rambam took a different approach. The Rambam based his understanding of Moshiach off of Bar Kochba. So, Bar Kochba, it says that because he didn't finish his job of building the temple and eradicating the occupiers of Eretz Yisrael, that he failed in his mission. Okay, and if you read like Hilchos Malachim, the beginning of the laws of like the Moshiach and Kings, it starts off painting a picture of Bar Kokhba and how, on the opinion of Rabbi Akiva, that he thought that he was Moshiach, that this is probably the clearest understanding of what Moshiach is or isn't. Okay, but although there's many different opinions that disagree with the Rambam. So the Rambam, it doesn't...
You're saying that Chabad holds that there's something separate from God?
That there's something separate from God? No. But Chabad believes that every Jew is a part of God, an actual part of God. Right? So what you're saying is that God could in some way be divisible. God has pieces. This is a philosophical argument. It's not a halachic argument. It doesn't go against the Torah. Okay, but it does go against the Rambam. I'm not saying that Chabad believes that there's different gods in any way. This is why I don't consider Chabad idolaters or heretical, at least according to the Talmud. I just think they're wrong according to the opinion of the Rambam. That's it. Right? So like if I was trying to guide someone down the right path and then there was a young Israel and there was a Chabad, I push them towards the young Israel just because they're a little more rational. Okay, but is it better to go to reform than Chabad? Chas v'shalom. Chabad keeps Torah mitzvahs.
I have a friend that learned more in Avukam, and he told me that it's really perplexed. It's not really something that you learn on like a day-to-day basis.
I'm not encouraging people to read more Avukam. I'm just telling you that according to the understanding of the Rambam, that he was very quick to throw people under the bus if they believed anything that would limit God in any way. Now, the God for perplexed, in the Hakdama, he writes that this is for his student, to help his student out. In other words, he didn't just write it for like a real select few. One of his students had an issue philosophizing all these concepts, and the Rambam wrote this book for him to help him understand it. But this is the Rambam's philosophy. I'm not attacking...
Okay, thank you for the enlightened explanation. And what's the Rambam's take on the Messiah different than Chabad?
Well, the Rambam does not believe that the Messiah could in any way come back from the dead. It just doesn't say it in the narrative of Hilchos Malachim. In the narrative of Hilchos Malachim, it seems that...
Well, that's why Chabad believes that the Rebbe is alive and is living physically.
Not all Chabad. Not all Chabad. There's some Lubavitchers who believe that he never died. Okay, so that would not technically go against the Rambam, even though the understanding of someone fighting the wars of Hashem, it's actual physical wars. I mean, a mitzvah tank is not a real tank. Can the Rebbe be Moshiach? Maybe. You never know. If he did die, I mean, I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt, saying that if he's alive somewhere, can he still be Moshiach? Of course, if he's still alive. And this is why many of them later on took on that approach. But the initial approach was that, yes, he did die, but there were tons of Hasidim outside of 770 crying the day he was declared dead, because they felt he was dead, and then the theology built on from there, that maybe he's not dead, maybe he's hidden, maybe he's coming back. There's different opinions, and if it wasn't an issue, why would Lubavitchers constantly quote Perek Halak of Mashiach coming back from the dead and quoting Rashi, if many Lubavitchers didn't believe that he was actually dead?
Based on what I was taught, I thought all Lubavitchers believed that they were Rebbe's Messiah, so I'm just a little confused. I'm sorry.
I would say that the vast majority...
I'll have to look more into it, I guess.
Okay. But the vast majority of Lubavitchers believe the Rebbe is the Messiah. Okay? And I think that goes against the Rambam. Even though, yes, the Rambam says that if he is killed, the Rebbe wasn't killed, but this is not the way we're learning the Rambam. The Rambam is painting a picture of Bar Kokhba because he was killed, i.e., he died physically, stopped living, and couldn't finish his mission. This is why he failed. Not necessarily that, okay, if you die because of a sickness or because of cancer or whatever like that could still mean that you could be Moshiach. This is not how we learn the Rambam. But the Rambam's bringing down ideas from Chazal. He's not creating new concepts here. That's it.
Thank you for enlightening me in the area. Thank you so much, Rabbi Asher.
All right, man, no problem.